Oh, speaking of LA, Cooper Kupp, is he going to be a resident of LA? Sure, he's oh yes, he's smacking, destroying the Knicks. 99-70. Ouch.
You are live on HBCU Coaches Corner, and I am your host, Rocky Miller, along with my co-host, none other than Mr. Campbell, the Rattler himself, and the man you came to see, Johnnie Cole. Coach Cole, before we get started with the show tonight, I just want to know, how you doing, Coach?
Man, I just want to let y'all know, am I the coach or what? Am I the coach, Coach Bishop? Did I call one? We'll get to it. Did I call one?
What you call, Coach? What you want? Let me ask you a question. Were you the coach the last 5 minutes, 60 minutes, or were you the coach the first 55 minutes? That's what we got to know. Because the first 5 minutes wasn't nobody the coach.
Hey,
then everybody picked Jack State, and I was in the stadium, and everybody and their mama was quiet. You couldn't even hear a baby cry up in there. That's how quiet it was.
Well, I didn't know that you get a win for playing for 55 minutes.
No, I understand that. No. But these folks thought they were going to come up here and run us out the building. And all I know is it was a great game. But I just want to know, like I say, listen, you picked it. Everybody that picked Jack State, they picked it.
Let me say, I'm doing great. I'm doing great, Rocky. And, man, I voted today. And I feel good about that. I got that out the way. Very important subject, to me. I had an opportunity to go coach. Go analyze Bluefield State versus Bowie State on Bowie State's homecoming. And the greatest thing about that is Howard had their homecoming, Bowie had their homecoming, and Maryland had their homecoming. The city was on fire. There wasn't nowhere that you could go that you couldn't get a line or have a line to get in. So, man, it was an exciting weekend, and I got a chance to see a very true friend of mine. We talk about HBCUs. Her name is Angela Cripe. She's a Delta, was a great friend of mine. She traveled, when I was a head coach as well. She's alumna of the Texas Southern like I am. But she has an illness that can't be cured. But she's in great spirits, man, and we had just a great time together. And my prayers go out to her as well. I had the opportunity to see another classmate of mine that I hadn't seen in 40 years from high school. So, I had a great time out on the East Coast.
Hey, guys, I had a great time, Coach, as well this weekend. I got a chance to go to my first HBCU homecoming. And I'm glad I went to Southern University for my first HBCU homecoming. Those of you who got a chance to see the pregame show of homecoming, if you didn't, go over to Scotty's channel and look at the pregame show. We had a blast. We had me, him, Perry, a few other fans. We had a great time. I want to say this. I don't know this. Like I say, this is my first homecoming, guys, HBCU homecoming. And I had to put this on Facebook. Taking all things under consideration, this was the greatest all-black cultural event I've ever been to in my life. It absolutely was, hands down. There's no comparison when you talk about the hospitality, the people, the camaraderie, the pageantry, the game itself, and just what it represented. It was truly, hands down, the best all-black cultural experience I've ever had in my life.
Wow, he ain't been around long enough, Bishop, has it?
Hey, man, you know what? My mom always said, before you can get to 2, you always got to get to 1.
Absolutely.
Don't ever count 2 until you get to 1.
That's
so
right.
the thing that listen, Southern is an amazing place.
Yes, it is.
So now, Rocky, what you got to do, like so many people do, you got to make your bucket list. Now you got to go to Jack State homecoming.
I'm going to Prairie View homecoming next week.
There you go. So when you get your bucket list, because you got people that are HBCU fans that once they've gone to there, they'll just go. And I know a group of guys, they just pick one every year, and they've been doing it for 40 years. They've literally been to every homecoming. Yeah. So man, you get a different vibe, man. So like I said, I know Southern is amazing. I have been to Southern's homecoming. I have survived Southern homecoming. So absolutely.
Yeah. And even the things that the Southern people as a community like complained about, so to speak, I found very much tolerable, considering the other things that I've been a part of. There were people complaining about the traffic. If you ever tried to get in and out of the State Fair Classic, it's pretty difficult. You know what I mean? And their State Fair Classic is pretty tough. Then they talked about the number of golf carts that were at Southern. I found it to be really neat to see all the people with golf carts, and it was like a golf cart show. You know what I mean? A golf cart show. You had them with rims and stereos and decked out and paint jobs and decorated. It was sensational, man. It was like I say, it was a great experience. And then I guess at the tailgate was Varg, man. Varg laid it out for me and Scotty and Key. I know he did it for his people, but us being there and just taking part in it, meeting all his friends, all his comrades, all his classmates and alumni, man, they treated us well. And like I say, it was absolutely sensational. I know you guys who are HBCU veterans who go to homecomings all the time, all over the country, and you guys are used to it. For a guy like me who hadn't had that experience, the only time that I've been part of tailgates and things of that nature are at Dallas Cowboy games and at Saints games and stuff like that. And that's a crowd. We have to go look for our people at those games, to be perfectly honest with you. But to be in an atmosphere where 360, wherever you turn, it was our people doing our things, playing our music, doing things familiar to the culture. It was absolutely sensational. And even though people were complaining about the attire, mainly that the young ladies was wearing, again, being a 54-year-old man and understanding what Uncle Luke did to the culture when I was a young man, and Two Live Crew and all that kind of stuff, I'm not going to sit here and complain about those people, understanding that doing the butt and biker shorts and all that kind of stuff, we was all part of that growing up. So I'm not going to criticize those young people for being young people. It was like I say.
Thank you. Rocky, let me just say something, because I want to get to my part. Because all of y'all that's criticizing, y'all were the same people in college that had them Daisy Duke shorts on, biker short. If you don't believe it, go look at any Salt and Pepper video, Puppet video, and Luke video. That's all y'all parents and grandparents now. So get off of them kids, because first of all, those are your kids. So stop tripping. Leave them kids alone. Y'all were doing the exact same thing. Luckily, we didn't have no cameras.
Yeah, we didn't. And yeah, man, but like I say, it was a sensational experience. I look forward to visiting Prairie View, and I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna try not to do something that many people do in this space, is to compare one experience to the other. I'm gonna try to. I enjoy Southern. The cool thing about Southern's experience, I didn't know what to expect. I came there with a clean slate, and what I expected, it exceeded any expectations I had, because I didn't have any. I'm gonna go this weekend to Prairie View with no expectations as well. And whatever I am able to experience there, I just want to have an enjoyable time. And I'll probably know a lot more people at the Prairie View tailgate, because I have many of my friends and classmates and people I work with and grew up with who are Prairie View alumni, and I'm looking forward to getting with those guys and just having a good time. So it was, like I say, again, it was absolutely sensational, Coach. But we got some business to handle, Coach. I'll step aside and let you introduce our featured guest.
Hey, man, we got a very special guest, a guy that I actually coached, and he was also, he went on to not, play at Texas Southern. He went on to play pro ball for a year. He's a businessman. Him and his wife is a superpower couple. He's a family man as well. Right now, he's the assistant head coach at Alabama State and defensive back coach. And he'll tell you some of his accomplishments. He actually had one of the best 707 programs in the nation. He's got first number to a lot of these outstanding coaches, Kirby Smart, Nick Saban. He got them on all speed dial, but now that he's coaching Alabama State, he's taking on another feed, and he'll tell you about the guys he coached. We call it J-Dub. I want to bring on Coach James Williams. What's up, fella? How you doing?
Man, how you guys doing? I heard the whole homecoming thing. That was you have a lot of traveling to do, young man. A lot of traveling to do. I'm just gonna tell you, because you haven't been to the Bayou Classic, the Magic City Classic, the Orange Blossom Classic, the Soul Bowl.
I just hadn't been to homecoming. I've been to some classics, just not homecoming.
Okay. Well, it's great, man. I don't regret anything about the choices I made about going to HBCU. I think it was one of the greatest experiences I ever have in my life, to get a chance to be coached by some great men and be able to be groomed to be a good man. And so that was a great experience I had going to Texas Southern and playing for Coach Cole.
Yeah. Coach, man, look, you finally got on the level. You jumped. Hey, you're another one of them cats that jump line, but you had style behind you, you know, and you was able to jump to Alabama State, which I thought was a great hire. You're still young and energetic. You know, we need young blood like you to come through, kind of bring us where you were as far as when you were out of the game and up to now that you're in the game, and plus some of the great athletes that you got playing on the next level.
Well, you know, when I finished up playing pro ball, I got an opportunity to play with the Oilers and be there on practice squad for a couple of years, and then went to NFL Europe and played for 3 years, and bumped around a little bit. Went into banking after that for about 14 years. Met my wife, just trying to live my best life and live my dream life. And so I started a 7-on-7 program, and we produced 187 Division I football players in a 5-year period. So I got a chance to rub shoulders with some of the top-notch coaches in the country, understand the Power 5 programs and how they operate and how they run. And when Coach Robinson got the job, I called him to tell him congratulations, and he asked me would I come coach. And like you said, skipping the line, but what God got for you, no man can take, and you can only give it away. And so when I got that opportunity, I seized the moment and went in. And just like you taught us, you know, Coach Cole, one thing I will say, playing for you, you were always a leader of men. You were always stylish. So they talk about me because I dress so clean, but I got it from the best. What you were saying, what Deion said before he ever said it. That's just a trend. Hey, you were saying it before he ever said it. And so, and I learned something from that experience, just to tell you the truth. When you see a man with style, charisma, and especially a black man that's sure about himself, you want to emulate that. And that's one of the biggest things I took from you. Young people will emulate your greatness, but if they never see it, how can they get to it? And so you really inspired me as a 17-year-old guy coming to college. You didn't spare the rod either. You were tough guy. And but it helped me develop into an excellent football player and even a better man. So, and you know, now I'm here, got the opportunity to come here. Keenan Isaac is with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is his second year. Mikey Victor went in with the New England Patriots this past year. My other 6'4" corner. I have a corner this year who I feel is one of the most talented guys I've coached, James Burgess. He's 6'3", 195. He's having a great season. I think he's 7th in the country in interceptions right now. Caleb Offer, my other corner. I have 2'6", 2'6'3" guys, and they both are NFL prospects. So, you know, it's been a pleasure to coach those guys and teach them how to be good men.
Yeah. Coach, hey, man, I'm going to jump right in it. Playing Florida A&M, man, you guys played them tough defensively. I know you can speak from the defensive side. what were some of the things that concerned you guys? And if you was rating your defense versus them, how well did y'all play against them?
Well, actually, I'll give us a B. Because some of the things they wanted to do, we were able to take away. And the biggest thing is to stop number 2. He was their go-to guy. He was making all the explosive plays. And if I'm not mistaken, he had 13 targets and 28 yards. It wasn't enough to win us the ball game. I don't think they had over 300 yards total, probably about 250 in that range. So, we played hard. We just didn't make enough plays to get us over the hump.
Yeah. Let me go back to you said you started a 7-on-7 program. Where did that program start? And do you have any other guys besides the guys that you actually coached personally that left that program and went to the NFL?
Yes. Well, Carrick Wheatfall, who he's in Canada now, but he went to the Philadelphia Eagles when he came out of Fresno State. We have about 7 guys that were currently in the program that are coming out this year. Mekhi Hughes at Tulane University. You just saw Chandler Rivers on television the other day get a pick 6. And actually the guy that threw it was my quarterback. So that was a crime on crime against 2 former teammates. And we also have Reggie Brown that's coming out of Tulane this year, tight end.
And what city was that, Coach? You started that program in?
I started in Houston. We started about in 2014, and then it morphed into something else. And it grew out of control. And I moved to Memphis. So I kept the Houston branch, started the Memphis branch, moved into Arkansas, started getting kids from Birmingham, kid that's, my best friend, it's his program now. So I'm no longer involved. But we now have a kid that was the #1 corner in the country that's committed to Ohio State, Naeem Alford, and then Cade Phillips, who just committed to LSU. And those kids were there when they were 12 years old. So I've been around those kids since they started playing football really at a very competitive level.
My last question, I know your aspirations is to become a head football coach. Kind of tell the audience, we got people all over, Coach, East Coast, West Coast, South. Give us some of your philosophy, why you think you should be a head coach, and just kind of explain it to it. Tell us, because you're one of our young up-and-coming guys, and then we definitely need up-and-coming good coaches. So you got the floor.
Okay, well, I think one of the biggest things that's a lost number, everybody thinks about scheme. Scheme is good, but the biggest thing is if you don't develop the man, you won't get the football player you want. On every level, when kids truly realize what it is to be a man, football becomes so easy. But if you can't sort your way through life's trouble, you won't be able to sort your way through it in a game. The one thing I love that Coach Robertson says that I incorporate into what I do also is win the day. And everything we do right now as grown men, we have to win the day. If you can't win the day, tomorrow doesn't even matter. And so being in position to change lives, that's number one. Number two, when it comes to a philosophy of football, we like to play violent and physical football. I'm like you, whatever I get into in football, I'm going to get me an awesome offensive coordinator because I like points. I like to light it up. And so at the end of the day, I want to be an exciting team. I don't want to do anything that's not exciting. I'm a flashy guy. I'm going to be flashy. I'm going to talk. I'm going to be me at all times. I'm a confident man, and I have a confident team because kids go as you are. And whenever I get in a position to have my own, we're going to be a strong, powerful team for years to come. We won't be a one-trick pony. We'll continue to compete at a high level, and we'll work. The biggest thing that's missing in college football now is the work. Everybody wants the result with no work. And everybody sees what happens in the end when you win the championship, but nobody sees all the work that goes in the middle. And if you're not willing to do the work and you're not going to get the results. And I told the kids, actually, I said this today, when we talk about education and football, why I think it goes together and people really need to think about what I'm about to say. If you are not willing to do your work, to take care of the life you'll have later, then you are not going to work hard for me. of this program. If you don't teach them how to work hard for themselves and what is in it for them, they will not work hard for you. And that is the biggest lesson you can give a college football player, because everybody's not going pro, but you can go pro at life.
Hey, Coach Williams, I want to ask you guys, you're a guy that has worked under what I consider a really good coach, which is Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. And you guys had players on the defensive side of the ball come and go, right? I have two questions for you. What has been the secret ingredient, if you can give it up, of how you guys have had such a consistent, dominant defense, but yet struggle on the offensive side of the football as well? So, if you could answer both those questions as honestly as you can, I would greatly understand.
Well, I'll start with the defensive end. Our coach is a defensive coach. He played 11 years in the National Football League. We played in the SWAC against each other. Alabama State at the time always had a tough defense. And the defensive coordinator that he hired, to say it in our terms, he a dog. Coach Ryan Lewis is a dog. And so the culture that we have set is irreplaceable. And so when you bring kids in, they play under a culture that you have to adapt or you won't survive. And so you don't have a choice but to play defense the way we play defense, or you will not be a part of this program, period. To go to the offensive question, I just think we've had a string of injuries and bad luck, things that just happen that you can't do anything about. And so when those things happen, you just have to be as consistent as possible and do the things that you can do to win football games. So I don't think it's just a thing that you can put your finger on. But I just think trying to figure that magic potion out to set the culture the same on both ends. And I think we're heading in that direction.
Go ahead, Mr. Campbell.
Coach, thank you for joining us. Coach, Coach Cole is going to talk a lot about football and your coaching career. But, Coach, I looked at your bio, and the thing that stuck out to me was you were in banking. And I wanted to ask you two questions. Coach Eddie Robinson, as you said, great all-time SWAC player, played 11 years in the NFL, but he was in real estate. You went banking. Mm-hmm. How does that diverse experience help you, one, with actually coaching? Because banking is very analytical. Things you have to understand. Coach Robinson, the same thing. But also the part where you can say, not only did I play in the NFL, but I worked at a Fortune 500 or corporate job. How do you use that to, coach your players, and also to tell your players that by going to an HBCU and getting an education, you can do so much more? How do you use that, your past experience, to talk to your players?
I guess it shows up in the success factor, because I've had adversity in my life, and the things that I've been through to be successful, it wasn't easy. So it's easy to coach from experience and tell them what it looks like. See, you can't tell somebody what it looks like if you haven't been through it. And it's a lot of people that are in the profession that I think, I won't say a lot, just people in general, in whatever you do, that will try to explain something that they've never had that feeling. I've never been on the offensive side of the ball at a point, except when I played for Coach Cole, where we scored points. I'm just being honest. He was a guy that scored points. So I knew how it felt. I knew what it felt like to be explosive. I knew what that felt like. So in doing this and all the things that I've done for a living, I've been able to actually open myself up and give these young men an experience. And just for example, like a lot of the guys now are asking more questions about life after football. I have my own book on Amazon. It's called Discipline, Vision, and Sacrifice. And it's 10 very powerful questions in there. And so when they answer those questions and they give me that book back, you have to live by what you tell me as a man. And so being able to make people write things down and hold their feet to the fire changes the culture of a young man, the way he plays, the way he lives, the way he goes about his business. Because if you don't do that, when they hit life, Instagram will fool them into a life that they will never see or never have, because they don't understand what it really looks like.
Coach, that is amazing. I think it's so important, because I think, and I will say this, we have a interlap because of our segment, the SWAC and the SEC, and we know that's the first thing here. Our guys go ahead and go pro, but you never hear them talk about the other part of life. And I know so many players, because again, I had a lot of friends that played in the SEC. I have a lot of friends that actually coach in the SEC now. And the one thing behind closed doors, they say, man, we really don't talk to our guys about anything else but football. We really don't talk to our guys about anything else but football. That's all they talk about 24/7. And I'm sitting up, I'm not in the NFL anymore, and I knew I had to figure out another way. So I just wanted to bring that out because I think that's just so important, because when you're a coach at HBCU, like you said, it is not that you're just coaching football only, because you're going to coach experience and you're going to lead these young men. So I wanted to put that out there. I'm going to get back, because I'm going to get back to you by being a defensive back coach, because you got a couple of games that them defensive backs might be getting tested, coach. So I'm going to let Coach Cole get back at it.
Well, James, you know, you got your boys watching you too, so I want you to let you know. You got all your boys from Texas Southern back. You know, he actually played with Mike Strahan as well. Hey, coach, y'all got great defense. You got to back your boy. I already got one part of what I thought was going to happen. I said Jackson State would beat Florida A&M because Florida A&M is not a consistent scorer, but they got a great team and a great coaching staff. And, of course, Jackson State outscored it. But I got y'all beating Jackson State because I think y'all played great defense. Now, I do wish y'all had a quarterback, but talking with Coach Rob, it seems like y'all might have found one. Tell me where the team at now. I know you guys have lost O'Brien, you've lost Body, you've lost the third team. You're down to a wide receiver playing quarterback? Yeah. Tell us, you know, the team's attitude, where you guys are. And of course, I know we'll talk about the defense, of course.
No, I can talk about the team. I think when you have continuity and players that actually play for each other, if you watch any of our football games, watch the whole game and tell me if you saw anybody quit, no matter what. And that came from off-season work and spending time together. And so we are in probably one of the best places we've been in, I feel, actually, because adversity is key. We have went through the toughest things so far this season we could go through. We got a whole nother half of football to play. And these kids are ready to play some more football and win, not just play, but win. I heard them talking today about all the tough stuff we went through together, and it was so refreshing in the meeting. And they are talking about it, how we just need to stick together. We have this thing, you know, and listen to this closely. You know, they are going to say everything great about you when you're playing good, and they should. They are going to say everything bad about you when you're playing bad. But we are not concerned with they, because we know who we are inside that building, who the coaching staff is, and how we believe in each other. And I know people say that as a cliche. Oh, we know, but we really, if you pay attention to how we play, you don't see players going off on each other behind this and that. We will win by 1 point if necessary. We do not care. A win is a win. So whoever has to play us better bring their lunch pail, because there is no quit in what we do and how we play. And so hard-nosed football, knowing how to get the win. These 6 games have taught us a lot. We got a second half of football to play, and we are right where we need to be in mid-season form. And I think we're going to make a hell of a run.
Yeah. Well, hey, look, one of your old teammates texted me, so I got to get this in. Because, you know, we Texas Southern Pride. Ike said he'll see you this weekend in the Magic City. He's trying to get on the show.
I'm mad at Ike, and he know why. I am mad. I love Ike, and Ike is like a big brother to me, and he know why I'm mad. I was gonna take care of him. He know what I'm talking about. I got you, Ike.
Yeah. You know, I know you're at Alabama State. I know this ain't this, and I shouldn't say it's a stop, because it ain't like you're trying to get out. You've had opportunities to do that, but you chose to stay in Black college football. Can you kind of go over that and talk about that as well?
Well, you know, Coach Robinson and I are friends first. And I think people forget when people actually give you an opportunity to do something that you love. And I know that it put me further ahead. I never had the GA, I just GOD'd. And when you get in a situation like that, the least I could do is not just, okay, we had a great year that first year, and the second year, just say goodbye. If I, could have, would have, opportunities I had just to take it or just because. And anything that has ever come across my plate, I've sat down and have a conversation with him, my family, and most of all, God. And I know right now, I feel like I'm in my purpose. And when God changes my plan, I'll move. But I don't even think about that because right now I am where my feet are. Remember, you used to always say that, be where your feet are. And I am where my feet are. And I really love the opportunity to work with kids that look like me, been through what I've been through, going through a lot of things that are similar and things that I know I can help them with. And that means a lot to me.
Yeah. Coach, speaking of being where your feet are, you're coaching in probably one of the more difficult eras in college football. Meaning that you guys are recruiting players to come to your program. You're getting kids, you're trying to recruit kids or retain kids. And you're also having to say to a kid that if you play at a certain level, you also may have an opportunity to elevate. What makes that coaching during this time more difficult as it relates to keeping kids focused on where they are and not distracted by the opportunities that may present themselves in the future?
It's not difficult. I promise it's not. You want me to tell you why?
Why, Coach?
The only people it's difficult to is people who can't coach. If you just a plug and play guy and you're not willing to take time and develop and coach, then it's going to be tough for you. If the kid is always just a good commodity and you don't have anything to offer, then you're going to be on the wrong side of the seat sometimes and you're going to feel some type of way. So you have to put yourself in a position that you can coach what you recruit. Now, you're going to miss sometimes, don't get me wrong, but you have to put yourself in a position that you are valuable to the kid and he's just not valuable to you.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He's been taught well, guys. He's been taught well.
No, I mean, coaches are afraid of kids leaving. Kids should be afraid of you leaving. Mm-hmm. Like if the only thing, if the relationship is just transactional, you won't keep him. Yeah. And we have too many transactional relationships. So it's easy to leave.
Yeah. Well, from an observation standpoint, and you got to understand, I'm not in coaching, I'm not in sports in any capacity, but what it looks like is the majority of those relationships that are substantive in major college football, based on the opportunities that are presented to do things other than play, don't usually go to kids that look like us. So I think the relationships are very much transactional. You know, when Kirby Smart brings on a quarterback coach or GA, or they don't look like us.
Well, I won't say that because they don't show the cases as they should probably when they do look like us.
Okay, gotcha.
So always remember, mainstream media will show what they want to, but there are people that look like us getting opportunities. There are people like us that are in good positions. It may not be the number that we desire, but in anything you look at and what we do, we don't have the numbers we desire. So we can't just push coaching out and say, oh, it's like that here. That this is where we are, and we cannot make excuses. We got to find a solution. We can't always say what's not. We have to find a solution. Like we have to make what we do stronger and better, and then we can do and have more. We have more games on ESPN than we've ever had in the history of Black college football, probably. So change is coming, but we have to make the change.
Put a good product on the football field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, Coach, you guys are coming to the Magic City Classic.
Yes.
You got Alabama A&M. You know,
Mhm.
it's one of those. It's one of those big games.
70,000.
Yeah, I've sat on that sideline before, and you know, is there anything that concerns you about Alabama A&M, or you know, they had a big game last week, put up a lot of points. That's Coach Maynard's deal. You know, what and how you guys gonna go about getting them? You ain't got to give us the secret. You just give us the total outlook.
Well, you know, I ain't gonna give you the secret, but I'll tell you this. Coach Maynard is an excellent coach. Great guy. Love talking to him. We joke all the time. But with this game, it's not even about the coaches to a certain extent because it's such a rivalry that you could throw your records out the window. Honestly. We just have to play a tough brand of football, be consistent, play great on special teams, and continue to do what we do. And I think it'll take care of itself. I think the guys are ready.
So, Coach, you know, before we let you go, I want to ask you this, Coach. As a coach, you've been part of this game. How many times, Coach?
This is my third time.
So you had 2 games. How did you guys fare in those previous?
We won both.
You won both, Coach. What do you say to those people that it's about time for Alabama A&M is about due?
It ain't about when is your time. See, now you're being messy. You're being really messy. Golly, being messy.
Every year, every week, we get this.
I'm just as I'm saying. I mean, some people would say, Coach, y'all done had a good run. Y'all done won 2 Magic City Classics in a row. As heated a rivalry as this is, what would you say to those people that say A&M is about due? This is going to be the year.
Well, let me tell you this, and you know this how people act. You ever heard somebody? You're gonna like this one. I know you're gonna like this one. When something good start happening for them, they think something got to go wrong. Ooh, something got to happen. Things going too good for me. You ever hear that?
Yeah.
When people say that, I ain't like that. If it's going good for me, it's gonna stay good for me.
Thank you.
So that's the best way I can say it. So that's it. It's gonna stay good. That's all I can say.
Coach, let me ask you a couple of football questions real quick before we let you go. So we are
talking
about Alabama.
I got time.
You, the defensive back coach. Looks like that Alabama A&M have settled in on their quarterback with Xavier Langford. Had an outstanding game against Bethune-Cookman, threw for over 300 yards. The wide receiver core looks like they're getting together. Keenan Hambrick had 111 yards last game. DeQuan Welch, 61 yards. Barry White, 90 yards. And, of course, Donovan England with 125 yards. What, with your position group, are you going to focus on when you're looking to play Alabama A&M?
Just being who we are. Just attacking and being who we are. That's the only thing I can say because they have a talented group, very talented group. But I think we have a talented group also. So I think that'll be one of our best matchups of the year. Because, you know, the most important game is the one you're playing. And so keeping our guys dialed in and focused at all times. And that's the biggest thing. It's not about game plan. This game comes down to football. It's just hitting, tackling, catching, knocking the ball down. That's all it is in this game. You see how I danced around that? You like that? You ain't gonna give me y'all messy. Y'all are messy.
No, Coach. No, I didn't. No, Coach. Listen, I did not ask a messy question because I know these are players that you all, I'm pretty sure, have on that board to say, hey, these are the guys that we got to stop. A lot of people want to.
You know it.
Yeah, so those are the things.
After a big game like that, you have to respect them. So this is, you know, it is what it is.
Well, Coach, what I'm looking at is, Coach, and this is just my assessment.
Okay.
For the past 3 years, Alabama A&M has struggled, in my opinion, You guys are the ascending program, right? You guys are on the uptick, right? They're on the downtick. So conventional wisdom would think is y'all would keep y'all foot on their neck as y'all continue to climb up to the upper echelons of the SWAC, right? But you say, hey, let's throw the records out the window the records don't matter. I tend to think the records do matter, and everything is pointing toward Alabama State dominating victory. But, Coach, how do you stop your players from being complacent? Because they see what I see, Coach. They see them losing. They see them not having subpar seasons, and you guys, they know where you guys are ascending to. You guys have had your challenges, but even through those challenges, Coach, you guys have figured out a chance to win. How can you keep your players from being complacent and just saying, we got this? That's Alabama A&M.
That's the easiest question I think you've asked me this whole time. Because every day we just win the day. That's it. We don't worry about what didn't happen, what's going to happen. We take it one day at a time, I promise. And you take care of that day and it gets you to the next day. And so just because you win Tuesday don't mean you're going to win Wednesday. So we got to keep winning every day till we get to Saturday to play the game. I'm just being honest. So if you want an honest answer, we just trying to win the day. That's it. I'm not going to put the cart before the horse. Not going to do it.
Well, let me say this, Coach. I ain't going to say you consider yourself as DBU. Listen to one of the greatest players to ever play defensive back. He likes those 5'11" guys. But you've sent a couple to the pros and probably going to have number 3 this year. And, we talk, all the time, and, we talk about the players that you recruit. It seems to me that you like the tall ones, 6'2", 6'1", 6'3". Now, but you got Deion Sanders who's saying that, hey, them 5'11", 180-pound guys are great secondaries. Is there a difference? Give me your philosophy that you like the tall ones. How does that all play out?
I figured out how to make big guys play like small guys. Okay. So when you take a big guy that can move like a 5'11" guy all day, Coach, and so putting it in perspective, I think Deion is a great player, but, for me and my dollar, I want big corners that are physical, that take up space on the field. When you're an offensive guy, when you look at football, it's about spacing, timing, and trust. If I can disrupt your spacing, mess up your timing, then the quarterback not going to trust you. And that's the key to football. Football has become a faster game. So if you can't reroute, redirect, and do those things, then you can't play football. I'm not saying there's some little guys that can't play, but when I have my choice and I pick big guys to play outside. And we've been successful at it.
One of the things I noticed Sunday night on the pro level is that to me, Russell Wilson didn't throw the ball any better or anything, but he threw him up high to George Pickens, and George Pickens made him look like Joe Montana from on the stat line, right? So with that, is that a part of football now? Just throwing the ball up to those big wide receivers? That's why I think it's hard to play short guys now, Coach. And those matchups, are those matchups problematic? Is that why you like those taller guys?
Well, not so much problematic, but if you have a short guy, it's 5'11" guys, 6 foot guys that can play. I have one that's 6 foot, one that's 5'9" that are bulldogs. But they have to be bulldogs in order to play those bigger guys and be able to fight through and jump. Because if you're a smaller guy, so much you have to be able to do. You have to be quick. You have to be able to jump. You cannot be a small guy and not have bunnies. It's just not going to work out for you. It's not. Show me a small guy in the league that can't jump. And I'm going to show you a guy who on the bench are not playing, who's just a special team player.
The coach,
that's
man,
a fact.
Look, I know you got to get back to watching film, preparing yourself for this week. It's a pleasure for me to see you all grown up. You've always been a first-class individual. You, your family, I know the relationship between you and your brother, who was a heck of a player too, man. And I welcome you. I appreciate you taking the time out your day to give us this knowledge and to share your experiences and your thoughts with us. Anything else, guys?
Hey, I just wanted to let him know that I shared the link to his book in Amazon, and let him know that I look forward to getting a copy of the book. And if in fact you guys are able to get to the SWAC championship, I'll get it autographed.
Well, let me say this too.
Yeah, tell us how to get your book.
Well, just go to Amazon. It's on Amazon.
I put the link in the chat.
Discipline, Vision, and Sacrifice. I have a statement on there, and it says, when people are living a life that is easy to believe, it is hard for them to comprehend your unbelievable life. And another reason I like big corners, because my brother was a big corner. My brother was drafted by the San Francisco 49ers, and I got the short end of the stick with the height, and he ended up being 6'2" and fast. And so, you know, I always had to deal with this stuff about the younger brother, the baby brother, and I ran from it for a long time. But when I embraced it, I went from, because now Coach Cole will tell you this now, I was a really good running back.
Yeah.
I could tote the rock.
Yeah.
Then I switched to the other side of the ball and nothing changed. So again, a dog is a dog. Please understand that.
Yeah. Now remember, I had 8 to be. I was a baby of 8. So you're right. When you embrace it, man, you kind of take off. Appreciate you, Jerry. Yeah. All your boys.
Man, thanks for having me on, Coach.
Hit me. Hey, thank you, man. Of course, we're going to reach back out to you again. Kind of talk to you. You know, we spent spring ball with you guys. And,
oh, yeah.
You know, I can't.
You're always welcome.
Keep on getting after it, man. And good luck the rest of the way.
Man, thank you guys for having me.
Thanks, all right, Coach. Thank you for everything.
All right. Appreciate it.
Oh, man, Coach, you got a hell of a coaching tree, Coach.
Yeah,
you got to have. I know he didn't coach on you, but he played on you, under you. So he's just another very impactful guy that you brought on the show again. Just a credit to you as a coach and a developer of men. And it's always good to hear how you impacted those young men's lives at a very young age, and to see how successful they are still today. Hey, we got us a caller, man. Let's go ahead and get on caller. You're live on HBCU Coaches Corner. If your number is 3669, what's your name and where you calling from? Hey, man.
You want to talk?
No, I guess I don't know what. Go ahead. Hey, man, you can't listen on your TV and then talk on the phone. You got to talk on the phone and get away from your TV.
Hello, is it okay?
All right, we'll hang him up. All right, guys. Let's get into it, man. Let's go ahead and get into it. This past week, week 8, Coach. Week 8. We're gonna do it was a short slate of games, Coach. Really short slate of games, but some very important games. And we'll go over these few games right here, and then we get to the feature games for the week. So any of these games, Coach, that kind of surprised you about the outcome and how it all played out?
Let me get this in with the Bethune, Mississippi Valley. Do we have any Mississippi Valley fans or audience? Please call this number, 334-318-1059, and ask for LC code. Mississippi Valley has never won a SWAC championship. Never have won a SWAC championship. They probably in the last 40 years, because I've been around 40 years, besides the Jerry Rice, really tight years, I had winning records. All right. And most of the time they maybe win 1 to 2 games. And their average is probably about 2 games a year. Call this number, 334-318-1059. Ask for LC code. I think Mississippi Valley should be knocking his door down, Coach Cap. Name another coach that has came into a program that has turned the program around. Name a coach that has beat the PWI. Name a coach that's the Eddie Robinson Award winner. Name a coach that's been at PWI, some of the major ones. Name a coach that came into Allen turned them around. Allen hadn't had a winning season in 30 years. Turned it around. Came into Clark. They've only won 5 games. Turned it around. Came to Tennessee State. Had 9 losing seasons. Turned it around. Went to Alabama State. Had 9 losing seasons. Turned it around. That's what I want to say about it. Both of those schools, really, Bethune and Mississippi Valley. Again, 334-318-1059. Call LC Cole. He's over there in Atlanta. If you really, like you always say, Rocky, they don't care about winning, Coach. If you really want to turn the program around, man, that's the number you need to call. That's what I want to say.
Hey, only thing I want to say is I want to applaud Coach Campbell's dark horse for getting a big win over Mississippi Valley.
The shade, the shade.
You picked them, they won, and hey, Coach, they made you a winner this weekend.
The shade, but it's all right though. Miss Mary's kids got them a victory, and they got a homecoming, and we'll talk about who they play for homecoming. But the most interesting game to me on this, which I'm going to say this when we talked about it, was UAPB and Grambling.
Go ahead, Coach. You got it. The floor.
If you're talking about a must-win game, when like I said again, the great G, and when I heard them say this was an important game against UAPB, I knew they were in a state of emergency. But hey, I got to give Grambling credit. They got the victory. They won the game. They move on. But I just wanted to see what was happening. You know, Mikael Hagan still did his thing, went for 230 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Once again, Miles Crawley still not playing as like the preseason conference player of the year. Only had 170 yards, 1 touchdown. Kevon Hargrove, 75 yards. So again, Grambling scored 31 points, UAPB 21, but they did get the victory on homecoming, and they move forward to the next game.
Can I say, add to that, my resources called me and told me the problem is Crowley is not reading the defenses right. So they got a little problem with him, and I'm seeing that a lot with some of these preseason All-American quarterbacks. You know, that they're going into these games and not doing what they're supposed to do. But then again, I say it falls on the coach. You know, at Clark University, right now he's either number 1 or number 2 passer in the country. But the bottom of the quarterback is, to me, is known 2 ways. Is he winning football games, and is he completing passes? And I think, and of course, his leadership ability plays a major role in it. So I just want to add that to what you said, Coach. And like you said, they did play, man, but they're struggling offensively.
Well, let me ask you this here, Coach. Is it an improvement when, as a player, as a quarterback, you've been plagued by turnovers, and you're able to get a victory without committing a turnover? Would you consider that improvement?
Yeah, I mean, you know, anytime you improve any facet of the game, whether it's special teams, offense or defense, or turnovers or penalties or possession, is good. It means we're moving in the right direction, and hopefully that you can stand on that when you meet and stuff, and make sure you show the team how important it is in winning football games.
All right, Coach, we got a caller. Caller 5540. You're live on HBCU Coaches Corner. What's your name and where you calling from?
Good evening to you all. This is Chuck Hunt calling from Monroe, Louisiana.
Hey, what's up, Chuck?
How are you all doing this evening? Yeah, it was a great weekend of attending Grambling's homecoming with my Grambling parents. It was a great weekend, a lot of people, and just like you were at Southern and at AOF, and I kept up with what was going on at Alcorn Southern game with looking at my phone while I was there at Grambling, and my reason for calling, I was looking at it. I just saw just a while ago that young man from North Carolina A&T, defensive end, Joshua Hardy, just hit the transfer portal. I'm not a bit surprised because looking at what has happened with A&T, with all the stuff we've been hearing, it's definitely we've been seeing the results of those games. Like you all just talking about them, how they were beaten badly at G-Hope by Hampton.
Well, as we talk about North Carolina A&T, they bailing water, Coach. I mean, that's not surprising. They are getting beat by Mr. Campbell has a saying for in Cat. What you say? They used to beat they used to beat the blacks and lose to the whites, and now they can't beat the blacks.
Can't beat the blacks. Well, that's what they said. They can't beat the blacks now.
Well, we talked about North Carolina A&T, and I pleaded the A&T that group of people that got together, probably none of them never put a helmet on, none of them never been in the athletic round, just talked about the money. The school grew because they won 3 national black college championships. I'm not going to say nobody knew about North Carolina A&T because they done. It's a great program. But once they won, it helped build the school where it is. And I said also that if they don't start winning, then they just going to be an aftermath of a university. And some of those great engineering kids is going there, and some of those great business kids are going there, and some of those kids are turning out to be lawyers. It's going to start making choices to go where the next winning football program is. So it's happening. As you say, one of the top kids probably on your team, their team is transferring out. You're going to see a whole bunch of that. And all they're going to do is get worse.
He's going to be at NCCU or South Carolina State, guaranteed.
Yes, or Norfolk.
I agree.
Or Norfolk.
Yeah. Anything else before we let you go? Because we try to get through these slides, man.
No, it's not anything else to talk about. And you never know. He might end up at Morgan State. They talk about their defenses. Might end up there. That's another topic.
All right, guys. All right, Chuck. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Now,
all right.
I want to make a comment about this Fort Valley, South Carolina State game. When you look at the game from a score standpoint, it looked like an utter blowout, right? But this game was, if you look at the statistics, it was very competitive, and Fort Valley made an amazing showing defensively, keeping South Carolina to under 250 yards. What do you think about that, Coach? I know you're not into moral victories, but when a Division II team can keep a Division I team under 250 yards total offense, wouldn't you consider that somewhat of a moral victory or an accomplishment in and of itself?
And I don't want you to misunderstand. You're talking about a Division II team with 36 scholarships going up against a South Carolina team who's a blue bread program of the MAC. I think it's a great job. Right? I know the guys over there, Coach Shea, did a great job. I think they ran the ball successfully against South Carolina State. But then on the other end, guys, and y'all can correct me if y'all think I'm wrong, most of the time when them offensive line guys get them head jobs and them defensive guys get them head jobs, they just lean on you. They'll come out of the game 30-3. They just happy to come out and win the games. You know what I'm saying? They don't try to just put it to you. They don't try to come off and fake and throw one deep, on you. So, but looking at the stats and stuff, talking with
My name is Danny Wilson, and I won $500 on the lunch break with AJ Jones.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.